So hello everyone and welcome back. So today we're going to dig into dialogue tags. And it actually took me about a day to write a really short set. See, as I'm going over this book, I'm rewriting sections, and because I've changed around some of the characters, I changed around some of the background stories and the scenarios. So I have to go through and carefully read what I wrote and make adjustments. So it took me about a day to do that, and I didn't want to put that on camera because it would be way too long. It's a lot of me thinking and writing, so that takes time. Um, there probably still be some things, but right now the skeleton is laid, and that's what's important. So sometimes I look at a book as if how should I put it? I guess kind of like building a building, or you're putting a skeleton together. It sounds kind of weird, but so the I always say like putting the bones. Like I got the bones of the story in, and then you work your way up or out. The organs, the veins, the blah blah blah, and then you make it beautiful with the skin and the editing and all that stuff. So anyway, enough of my weirdness. So I got my glue index down as much as I possibly could, which was 41%. If you look at the report, and there's no sticky sentences found, no semi-sticky sentences found. So there's really not a whole lot I could do. This is saying 42 because it's just rounding it off. I would probably have to go in and rewrite some things, but to me, it's not that serious. So that's the best I can do. My score right now is at 88%. But we're going to get into now, saying that normally it'll have two. It'll have dialogue tags and unusual dialogue tags, but right now it just has unusual dialogue tags. So stick to said and asked. Instead of other dialogue tags, reduced to 30%. So then that means the other ones have been reduced. So let's look at the report. And it's going to highlight everything that has it's in quotations. It's somebody speaking. So let's see. Okay, so it actually has 34 dialogue tags, but they're saying overall is actually not that bad, honestly. My score for this individually is 75%. But so they're saying 32.7% of my document is dialogue, which is good and it's fine. One dialogue tag that is an adverb, we probably want to get rid of that. And unusual, and this is the unusual ones. So to bring my score down, sometimes what I do is I'll go through all of this, or I could leave it. I could leave it because it really isn't that. Wait, hold on. Let me go back first before I really say that. So normally when my dialogue tags are good, this goes to 100%. Like that's my score. This is what I understand. And it gets a little confusing how they word it, because then it says reduce to 30%. But I get reduce the dialogue tag usage to 30%. But right now I'm not that far off. This should be 100% when this is good, and it's at 75. So I could just focus on the unusual dialogue tags, or which I would probably more focus on the usual and this one. So let's see what this one is. Said. As I said and asked are fine. So I'm going to leave that one alone. Just go to the unusual. Question. I used that 3 times. Okay. Trying to go to the... Okay, so whatever. Here's the first one. Dan, he's our son who just got married behind our backs. Aren't you angry? I'm going to leave that alone. I'll fix that in the audio if I need to. Lower questions. So questions. So we want to get rid of this. And now let's look at what's going on around, Okay, so this is a part where this woman is in front of her son's home, knocking on his door on his wedding day. On his basically he's being interrupted on his honeymoon, and you don't do that. It's a big no. So her husband finds her and catches her, and he's basically yelling at her. So she's mad because she's saying how to get married behind our backs. There's a whole background story about that. We're not going to get into that. That's not what we're focused on. We just need to understand the situation. So let's see. I always use this opportunity to be more descriptive and paint more of a picture for the listener and reader. So let's see. Laura, let me see. What would be her body language? Let's go look at our body language stuff. Dejected. Ooh, that was easy. It was like right here. Walking with hands in the pocket. No. Delay. Depressed. I would say she's kind of more agitated. Wouldn't she be more agitated? Like she's got to know the background story, but she's angry. She's angry because her son got away with something behind her back that she has been trying to prevent him from doing. And normally in a normal situation, that would be for a good reason. But in this situation, she's just not a nice person, okay? Okay, aggravated. Okay, deep frown, pursed lips, sneers, snarls, intense eyes used to stare at a person out and intimidate them. So space, touching, poking, shoving, insulting or threatening behavior, making sudden movements, head shaking from side to side, running hands through here. So I would say intimidating. Okay. Intense eyes used to stare at a person. I'm thinking this. She's probably, yeah, because she's mad that this man is not following her program. So, aren't you angry, Laura? I use the word glared a lot. I'm trying to hold back, but it's hard. I'm addicted to the word glare. Okay, let's try this. Laura's eyes. Pierce through Dan's. Oh, yes, we'll just go with that. So, infuriating. That's about the wrong. Even more. They may have a problem with this sentence. There's a lot of things going wrong here, but we'll fix that later. Dan stared at his wife with the intensity of a burning inferno. Okay, so I was already on the right page. But then now I'm saying the same thing. Okay, so then we gotta change that. Laura's eyes pierced. So the intensity in Laura's eyes were no match for the hate building in Dan's heart. Dan stared at his wife. Okay, so let's go back up here because I see another one. Shouted. See, now this one. Okay, yeah, that is. You know the customs. You do not disturb newlyweds. Dan shouted back, no longer caring who overheard them. So I would just say, Dan, no longer. I would take this out. Oops. Dan no longer cared or cares. Oops. Who overheard them? Dan, this is our son. Okay, so another one right here. He then turned and continued toward. So even though this is far from this, it's not saying he continued for. It still, I guess, reads the same way. So what I do just to save that argument, I take that out. Let's talk about this at home. He turned. I would just say he then headed towards. I don't know if it's toward or towards. This is where I like these things because they're going to tell me if I'm wrong. Their dwelling. They walked in silence, but upon entering the home, both. Okay, that's fine. So this is another one. Shouted back. Now, normally I would go through the line here, but oh wait, hold on. I'm probably dipping into the other stuff. Yeah, probably am. I'm probably dipping into this list. Let's see. Yeah, well, see, they have a lot of the same things, so it doesn't really matter. All right. I lost my spot, so I'm just starting over here. Brought, I don't. He reaches. She pushed. No, Dakota. Said we're leaving alone. Amali relaxes under his weight. Okay. Let's talk at home. He then headed. Okay. Dan began. It didn't pick it up as one. He is not your son. You've never even cared to touch. I have kept my mouth shut all these years because I know that what I did was wrong. I have an issue with him just saying Dan began. It just sounds like it's incomplete somehow. Sounds a little weird to me. So Dan. Okay, so Dan struggled to reconnect with the compassion he once held for his wife. So, I like that. He is not your son. You never cared. So, yeah, because, despite the mistake that Dan made, and he knows that he's basically saying he's taking responsibility for what he did was wrong. And this is the type of person that Dan is. But at the same time, he's trying to hold his ground on what's unfair to his son. And she says, wrong. It was beyond wrong. You broke a commandment, Laura shouted. Okay, see, they don't like this. Shouted back. And I don't blame them, Laura. Laura's voice echoes through the, I'm just going to say home. They're kind of like, they live in a cave, And this cave is huge, and the cave has like huts or, you know, different inhabitants. And I've never really figured out exactly what to call it, but it's very different. And echoes through the home. So did you, if you don't remember. Dan stepped closer to Laura. So good job, April. Good job. I blame you for that. Oh. I blame you for that, Laura. Okay, pressing his finger on her chest. Here's another one. Questioned. What I want to know is, what else have you done? Ooh, what else has she done? Let's do this. He grabbed, her. Let's say he grabbed her finger and pushed her hand away from his chest. Okay, because like you say just that he questioned. I like this better because it's like you're seeing more of the action between the two characters, and you're getting a sense of more of like their anger, their frustration with each other. Okay, what do you mean? She steps back, looking up into his eyes. Was the love he held for her now gone? I mean, you think about when you get in an argument with your loved one, what are the thoughts and the words that are being exchanged, and what are the feelings behind them? What are the questions that you have? Okay, retaliated. So this is probably under a unusual dialogue. And this is one of the these are just common mistakes early authors make. We weren't professionally taught how to edit, so we were told don't use said, don't overuse said, and like it gets tiring or whatever. So we found other words for said. There was literally a site called Other Words for Said, and I can't find it anymore. I think it was taken down because I think it led a lot of new writers in the wrong direction. So yeah, we didn't use said. We used every single other word in the dictionary, and now this is where we are. So this is what but you know what? Things happen for a reason, because now they discovered, like, when you use all those other stuff, it actually takes the reader out, or maybe it was something that was known, but it wasn't known to us. So this is why we're learning this stuff now. Okay, so I don't know how. Maybe they can smell the stench of his actual mother. Oh, woo. Say how you really feel. Oh, I missed another one. I missed it. Okay. I think you know what I mean. Why is it that my son has been both admired and rejected by the women he pursued? He has a very good question on that one. Why is son being admired and and rejected by the women he pursued. Okay, so we're going to take this out. And we're going to say he steps, he moves. I'm going to say his energy moves forward, causing Laura to step, we're going to go step back further. Make it a little bit more like, when, if you think about it, kind of like when a person is like, or like, okay, I hate to use it this way, but it's the only way I could think of. Nah, that's not a good example. Okay. I'm just going to say, like, in this situation, he's angry at her. His anger is so intense that it's almost like an energy field around him. And it literally, like, is pushing her back. So, like, that's just basically, that's what I'm saying. His anger is so, it's almost can be physically felt, I don't know why. Maybe they didn't smell the same. Okay, so she's still trying to, like, hold her ground. So Laura refuses. So Laura refuses to allow him to get over on her, and she pushes back. This is where it gets intense. Dan raised his hand to slap Laura across her cheek, but then paused. 40 years of marriage, he hadn't harmed a hair on Laura's head. An act like this is below him. He withdrew his hand and left the home. Respect, Dan, respect. So, let's see. Let's go to the next one. This is fine. This is not. No, see what he says. He looked around himself, seeing no one. He felt as if maybe he had somehow fallen asleep. The voice sang, and he sobbed harder. He knew it was Hope, Dakota's mother, his true love. I'm going to leave this. Now, it's going to read funny in the audio. Because if I just take this part off, which let me just take this part off anyway, it's going to sound like, Dakota's mother, his true love, Hope. I don't know. Be dramatic here. Dakota's mother, his true love, Hope. Her name fell from his lips in a painful thud. Okay. That's how I do my sensory. All right. The voice, let me see. Shh, don't cry. I don't know how this is going to work out. We'll see. I failed you. Okay, stop it now. She scolded. Okay, so this, we're just going to take scold out and we're going to say she moves to look him in the face. And that was not dream. So how? We're going to leave that alone. Said is fine. That's fine. I'm sorry for what I did or didn't do. That's fine. Said is fine. This is not. But I wasn't upfront with you. I allowed things to blossom between us before telling you the truth. Now, I might have a story conflict with this one. Loving someone who wasn't mine was my mistake. Okay, because she knew that he was married in a new storyline for Dakota's mother. So I may have to take this out or change it. Let me see. But I wasn't upfront with you. I allowed things to blossom between us before telling you the truth. I know what I'll say here. I don't know if that's the right word. Okay, so we should have cleared your name. What would be another word? We should have redeemed your name. How about redeemed? And then I feel like I may have to explain this a little bit to the reader who may have forgotten. In my books, most of my books are multi-character, and I believe that everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. So my characters each have a story, whether they're a villain or the good guy or just the random dude walking in the background. They all got a story. So, and this is a good thing and a bad thing because sometimes it can make a book pretty long. We don't need to know everybody's story, but in this situation, it helps to better explain what is going on. Stan thought back to what had caused, what's this chick's name? Hope? To become an outcast. Become an outcast from the tribe? Become an outcast from the tribe? So that hopefully will trigger the memory in the listener and reader, like, oh yeah, she got kicked out because XYZ, right? Okay, done. This is another bad one. Hush, I forgive you. She retaliated, reiterated, which is great, but no. Okay, so being a spirit, Hope no longer held on to the things that caused her pain when she were alive. I'm not sure if I should use were or was, but we're going to find out. They're going to let us know. And then this now should be a period. Okay. He sure did marry a beast. He groaned. Yeah, take that out to... So the feeling I get is like this pain in my chest. You know, when you make a really major mistake and there's nothing you could do about it, you got to live with it. It's like a burning pain in your chest. So that woman I married is a beast. It's almost like indigestion. Actually, yeah, they would say it. That's the truth. In their customs, that's what should have been done. We should have brought your case before the elders. That's how it should be. That's how it should be said, honestly. Okay, being a spirit, Hope no longer held on to the things that caused her pain. Yeah, there's a shorter way to say this. Let's see who's faster. Oh, dang. Yeah, but that's not exactly how I want to say it. And it just took what I said and flipped it backwards. She's smart butt. Okay. My thing is, so they're just saying this. No, I reject. Being, okay, because... Okay. I mean, being a spirit, Hope was free of human demands. Was demands? Issues? Oh. Being a spirit, Hope was free of worldly constraints. We'll see how that reads out later. Refresh. Still complaining about that. We should have brought your case before the elders. You know what? Okay, Dan. There should have been consulted about your case. No. I actually don't want to change what I wrote there, because it's more in line with how they speak and how they interact. So Dan thought back to what caused Hope to become an outcast from the tribe. Actually, by putting it this way, we should have brought your case before the elders. I don't really need to say this because I think that would be enough for the reader. We gotta also remember, you don't want to treat the reader like if they don't have any kind of sense. So, Dan slumped his shoulders because he's feeling like defeated. Voila, we're back to 41.7%. Okay, that's the best I could do. I got 3. Where's the word? Oh, yeah, I was trying to spell people, my bad. So now we're at 94%, which seems to be my going. I don't know. I can't beat that. I always get 94%. Why? Anyway, it's done. So now the next thing we're going to work on is the audio. So that will be the next video because this was long enough. But we'll work on the next, like the full audio, so you can see exactly how I do the audio for this. And so have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.